I'm making tacos today, but not just any tacos. These are going to be pork belly, burnt end, street tacos. Yes, pork belly. Have you ever had pork belly? If you haven't, you got to get some. Now, I've made pork belly into a sandwich before, but this is going to be a little different for me. We've got about a 3-pound pork belly here. We're going to be cutting this into little cubes, maybe 1 inch by 1 inch, and those are going to shrink up because we're going to smoke this for 2 hours with hickory smoke. Then we're going to take those pieces, put them in a foil pan. We're going to add a little bit of spiced apple cider, some brown sugar, a little bit of agave syrup. We're going to seal that up with foil, put it back on the grill indirect for about another hour, hour and a half. Then at the very end, we're going to glaze this with some barbecue sauce and put it back on the grill there indirect for maybe 20-25 minutes just to firm up with that glaze. So let's get started cutting this pork belly. Now, I know everybody out there probably already knows pork belly is the basis for bacon, so you can't go wrong when you're starting with the stuff that turns into bacon. So we're just going to make some marks along here to give us a guide for how big our pieces are going to be. Now, if you've never smoked pork belly before, as I mentioned, it will shrink as you smoke it. So these marks are just the guides that I'm going to use in a second to cut all the way through. I'm going to go the long way first, and you'll end up with something like this. And doesn't that look familiar? Doesn't that look like a piece of bacon, just really extra thick? So we're going to continue cutting our long pieces. Now that we have all our long pieces separated, we're going to do these shortcuts to create these cubes. You can do it any number of ways. You can slice it all at once. I'm going to do it individually. I'm just following that line that I scored in the top. So these are the size of our cubes. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this pork belly up so we can get the rub on it. The rub we're going to be using today to make these pork belly burnt ends for these street tacos, Famous Dave's Rib Rub. I really love this stuff. We're going to apply this generously and make sure every side of these cubes of pork belly gets coated. Don't be afraid that you're putting too much. You're not. Just work them around in the bowl. Get some on every side. So these are our pork belly cubes that are going to become burnt ends. We're going to get these into a basket which will support them and out onto the Weber Kettle that's set up for indirect smoking. All right, I have the Weber Kettle set up for indirect. We're going to get our pork belly on there, and then we're going to add our hickory wood to the briquettes. Over on this side, I have my temperature probe for the ThermoPro, which will let me keep track inside. We're going to be shooting for somewhere around 225, 250-ish today. And this first portion of the cook is going to go about 2 hours with smoke. So let's get that smoke going. All right, so here goes our hickory. Right in there. I want to shake a little bit of the ashes off the briquettes. Okay, our hickory is burning. We want to smother that so that it's smoke. So let's get our lid on. So we've got that hickory smoke going already. Probably have to add a couple more pieces over the next couple hours to keep that going. It's a pretty small piece of hickory there, but that's all right. That's the flavor we want to get in this. So as I mentioned, in about 2 hours, we'll be taking these pieces off, put them in a foil pan with some agave, some apple cider, some brown sugar. We'll be sealing that up in foil. That'll go back on there. But right now we're going to go in and we're going to make a lime cilantro crema, which is going to go on these tacos. So after we build these tacos from these pork belly burnt ends today, we're going to be putting a really refreshing lime cilantro crema on top. We're just going to drizzle some of it from a squeeze bottle. You can put as much as you want on. This is extremely simple to make. This is a cup of sour cream we're starting with. To this we're going to add about a tablespoon, maybe 2 of lime juice just to start to thin it out and add that lime flavor. We're going to add a teaspoon of lime zest and a 1/2 cup of finely chopped cilantro. We'll adjust after we try this to see if it needs salt, pepper, or a little bit more lime juice. All this incorporated in here. And as you can see, it's fairly thick, so we're going to add some more lime juice. We want this as sort of a squeeze bottle consistency, if that makes sense. Something you can squeeze out of a squeeze bottle. All right, let's give this a taste. Oh, that's nice. But I think it does need some salt, some pepper, and I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. So just a pinch of garlic powder. That's all I'm adding. Adding a little bit of salt, not much. Same thing with pepper, just a little bit. Get this all mixed up. Let's give it another taste. That's nice. So this is our crema. It's extremely bright and fresh tasting. We're going to go ahead and refrigerate this while our pork belly smokes out there and turns into burnt ends. All right, it's been about 40 minutes. Need to add some more hickory here. Oh, look at those. We're already starting to get some nice color on those. Let's get this hickory on there and check and see if we need to add any briquettes. I think I'm going to add a few briquettes here too. We'll get our fresh piece of hickory on there. We'll let that catch and then we'll get the lid back on. All right, let's get our lid back on so we can keep smoking. All right, we are 2 hours in to this cook. Time to take our pork belly, put it in a foil pan, put all sorts of goodies on it and seal it up. Let's see how these look. Oh, look at those. Getting a really nice color on there. Little bark forming from that rub. Looking good. All right, let's transfer these. All right, now we're just going to sprinkle some brown sugar in here. It's going to all get dissolved with the other liquid we put in here. Just want to make sure it's distributed everywhere. Does that look like too much brown sugar? I don't think so. I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit more of the famous Dave's rub on there. Some of our spiced apple cider going in. Give it some nice liquid. Right on top, some agave. Now, if you want to use honey, you can use honey. I'm using some agave syrup. If you want to add butter, you can. I'm not going to add any butter today. Now we're just going to double seal this with foil. Get a good tight seal on here. All right, let's get this back on the kettle. Check the briquettes and see how we're doing. We're going to add a few more briquettes and knock some of that ash off. Remember, knocking the ash off gives you better airflow. We don't need to add any wood, obviously. There's no reason for smoke to go in there. Nothing's going to get to those pork belly burnt ends right now. We just want the heat to get into that foil pan and help tenderize these with all those juices and liquids. So let's get our cover back on. We've got about an hour and a half until we take that off and put the final glaze on. All right, we are at the time to take the foil off this pan, add our barbecue sauce, mix it all together to get that glaze formed and get it back on this grill. Oh, look at those. Those are looking really nice. And now to this, we're going to add our brown sugar barbecue sauce from Trader Joe's. I'm going to mix these all up in here, get a nice coating, all that goodness. I'm changing this up a little bit. I want to give these a little bit more time in the pan, but uncovered for about 15 minutes before I transfer them back to the basket for a final little cook indirect out of that pan. I want to get them just a little bit more tender, and this will help that. So we're just going to put the lid on, let them keep cooking. Okay, these pork belly burnt ends have had another 15 minutes extra time there that I added. Now it's time to get them into the basket and give them that last little bit to firm up indirect. Oh, that looks good. Okay, let's get this off here and get these into the basket. Transfer all these pieces in here. Oh, these are tender. These are going to be excellent in those tacos. Yes, we lose a little glaze doing it this way, but I like getting them back in there to get a good amount of heat directly around them so they're not just finishing off in the liquid. You could definitely finish them off in the liquid if you wanted to. I just like to do it this way. All right, let's get these back on the grill. Right on there. Let's get our lid back on. Let those finish up, probably gonna take 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna cheat just a little bit. Oh man, wow. Early taste test. That's awesome. Whoa. Really pleased with this so far. I'll bring you back when we're ready to take these inside. All right, we've been about 20 minutes. Let's check these. Yes. Oh, look at that color. Oh, ooh, that is good. Time to get these inside and build some pork belly burnt end tacos. So there are our pork belly burnt ends. Now, if you wanted to take these further and even more tender where they're just dissolving, you can. You can go probably another hour. I want to have just a little bit of bite in there for the tacos. You saw me do a cheat taste outside. They're awesome. My wife had a taste. They're up to her standards too, so we're good to go. So let's build some tacos. All right, we've got our tortillas ready to build this street taco. And I guess the reason it's a street taco is because it's like a little taco. But we're gonna put like 3 pieces of pork belly burnt ends in there. We're gonna put just a little bit of cabbage on top. We had a slight malfunction of our squeeze bottle, so we're gonna drizzle this lime cilantro crema on here with a spoon. All right, it's time to taste. All right, I'm going in for the street taco. Here we go. Pork belly burnt end street tacos with cabbage and a lime cilantro crema. I don't know why I'm repeating that. I just needed to say something because I want to dive into this and I need to take a breath first. Here we go. Okay, you saw me do that cheat taste test outside. It was awesome. I gotta tell you, with this lime cilantro crema on here, it's just gone up another level. I think the reason this lime cilantro crema works so well on this and elevates it is the pork belly burnt ends are incredibly rich. It adds a delicate brightness to this taco. Just amazing. So even though I tasted outside, I'm gonna do another taste of just a piece inside since I've already done the taco. Here we go. You have got to make this. It's sweet, it's tender, it's even savory because of that famous Dave's rub on there. All the flavors, the textures, everything works on this. I already had one taco. We're gonna put together more tacos and we're gonna have a feast from this tonight. If you've never done pork belly before, try it. It's not hard to do. You saw this. Took 4 hours basically to make these pork belly burnt ends. This is one of those dishes that your friends and family will talk about if you make it and serve it to them. I guarantee you that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel and consider subscribing. And if you do, click that bell for notifications. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great evening. I'll see you again soon.